Commander Jai-ho Park stood at the wide window of the space station, watching Earth shine like a blue jewel below. Tomorrow, he would lead 12 brave people on humanity's greatest journey yet, a trip to another star system. The ship that would take them there, the ISS Pathfinder, floated nearby. Its silver hull gleamed in the sunlight. Ji-ho had spent 5 years helping to build this ship, and now it was finally ready. The new fusion engines would push them to speeds that seemed impossible just 10 years ago. Commander, the final checks are complete. Hae-Yun Kim, the lead scientist, walked up beside him. Her tablet showed all green lights across the systems. "Thank you, Hae-Yun," Jai-ho said, turning to face her. "How is the crew doing?" "They're nervous, but ready. Taiwan just finished plotting our course one last time. He says the numbers look perfect." Jai-ho nodded. Taiwan Lee was the best navigation officer Earth had to offer. If he said the course was good, it was good. Walking through the station's corridors, Jai-ho remembered the day they chose him to lead this mission. 300 candidates, and they picked him. "Your calm under pressure makes you perfect for this role," they had said. Now, with less than 24 hours until launch, that calm was being tested. In the main conference room, the rest of the crew was gathering for their final briefing. Ji-ho looked at each face around the table. These people would be his family for the next 7 years. 3.5 years to Alpha Centauri, and 3.5 years back. "Tomorrow," he began, "we make history. We will be the first humans to leave our solar system, the first to see another star up close, the first to truly reach for the stars." He touched a button, and a hologram of their ship appeared above the table. "The Pathfinder is the most advanced ship ever built. Our fusion engines will push us to 15% of light speed. The artificial gravity will keep our bones strong, and the cryogenic sleep chambers will help us pass the long journey between stars." Sun Le-cho, their communications officer, raised her hand. "Commander, what about the rumors that some people don't want us to go?" Jai-ho had expected this question. There were always those who feared progress, who said humans should stay in their own solar system. "Yes, there are people who doubt us," he said. "They say we're not ready. They say it's too dangerous." He paused, looking at each crew member. But every great journey in history faced doubters. When humans first crossed the oceans, there were those who said it couldn't be done. When we first reached for the moon, people said it was impossible. Yet here we are, preparing to go further than anyone has gone before. The crew sat straighter in their chairs. Ji-ho could see the pride in their eyes, mixed with determination. "Get some rest," he told them. "Tomorrow, we make our dream of reaching the stars come true." Later that night, Ji-ho stood alone in his quarters, looking at a photo of Earth taken from Mars. Soon, their home planet would be just another point of light in the sky. He thought about all the scientists and engineers who had worked to make this mission possible. The new materials that could shield them from radiation. The advanced computers that could plot their course through interstellar space. The medical breakthroughs that would keep them healthy on their long journey. Everything was ready. Humanity had prepared for this moment for decades. Now it was time to take the next great leap. As Jai-ho prepared for his last night's sleep on the station, he smiled. Tomorrow, they would begin writing a new chapter in human history. And no matter what challenges lay ahead, he knew his crew would face them together. The future of humanity lay in the stars, and the Pathfinder would lead the way. The morning of launch day arrived with a sense of calm purpose. Commander Jai-ho Park watched his crew board the Pathfinder one by one. Each person carried a small bag with personal items, though most of their supplies were already stored on the ship. Final systems check complete. Engineer Do-hyun Kang reported from his station. The ship's powerful fusion engines hummed softly, ready for their first real test. Navigation Officer Taiwan Lee sat at his console, fingers moving quickly over the controls. "Course is set, Commander. We are ready for departure." Jai-ho took his place in the command chair. This was the moment they had trained for. "Mission Control, this is Pathfinder. We are ready for launch. Confirmed, Pathfinder. You are clear for departure. Good luck, and Godspeed. The docking clamps released with a gentle shudder. Taiwan fired the maneuvering thrusters, moving them slowly away from the space station. As they gained distance, Jiaho could see Earth growing smaller behind them. Beginning main engine startup sequence, Du Hyun announced. Fusion reactors are stable. The crew felt a gentle push as the engines came to life. There was no dramatic burst of speed. They would accelerate slowly but steadily for months until they reached their cruise velocity. Hae-yeon Kim watched the engine readings from her science station. Power output is exactly as calculated. The fusion reaction is maintaining stability. Everything was going perfectly. Too perfectly, perhaps. 3 hours into their journey, as they passed the moon's orbit, communications officer Sun Ma-cho frowned at her console. Commander, I'm seeing some unusual readings from the long-range communication array. Jiaho moved to her station. What kind of readings? The signal strength is dropping. It's subtle, but it's definitely getting weaker. Sun Mi's fingers moved quickly over her controls. The backup systems are showing the same pattern. Lead scientist Hae-yeon joined them at the communication station. After studying the readings, she looked at Jiaho with concern. If this continues, we could lose contact with Earth before we reach cruise speed. The crew grew quiet. Without long-range communications, they would be truly alone in the void between stars. More importantly, they wouldn't be able to send back their research data or receive updates from Earth. Do Hyun, Jiaho called to the engineer. Can we fix this? Do Hyun studied the system diagrams. Maybe. But we'd need to do a spacewalk to check the external arrays. And if we find serious damage, he didn't need to finish the sentence. They all knew what it could mean. Jiaho faced a difficult choice. They could turn back now, delay the mission for repairs, or they could continue forward, hoping to fix the problem in space. Either way, the whole mission, and humanity's first journey to another star, hung in the balance. How long until the signal becomes too weak? He asked Sun Mi. At the current rate, maybe 2 days. Jiaho stood silent for a moment, thinking. Then he pressed the ship-wide communication button. Attention crew. We have our first challenge. I need everyone in the main conference room in 5 minutes. As the crew gathered, Jiaho looked at their faces. They had trained for problems like this. Now it was time to prove they could handle them. We have 2 days to fix this, he told them. If we work together, I believe we can do it. Humanity didn't come this far to be stopped by a communication problem. The crew nodded, determination replacing worry in their expressions. They had known there would be challenges. Now it was time to face them. Do Hyun, prepare for a spacewalk. Hae-yeon, I want you analyzing those signal patterns. Everyone else, support them however you can. Jiaho straightened his shoulders. Let's show Earth what this crew can do. As the crew moved to their tasks, Jiaho watched the blue marble of Earth growing more distant through the window. They had a problem to solve. But more importantly, they had a chance to prove that humanity was ready for the challenges of interstellar travel. 3 years had passed since the Pathfinder left Earth. The communication array problem had been fixed, thanks to Do Hyun's skilled repairs. Now the ship moved smoothly through the darkness between stars, carrying its sleeping crew toward Alpha Centauri. Only 3 crew members were awake at any time, rotating every 6 months. Today, Hae-yeon Kim was on duty with Security Chief Min Ji-yoon and Engineer Do-hyun Kang. The rest of the crew slept peacefully in their cryogenic chambers. Ha-yeon sat at her science station, monitoring the usual readings from their instruments. The ship's sensors constantly scanned space around them, looking for anything unusual. Most days, they saw nothing but empty space and distant stars. Today was different. That's strange, Hae-yeon said, leaning closer to her screen. Do-hyun, could you look at these energy readings? Do-hyun moved to her station. His eyes widened as he looked at the data. I've never seen patterns like these before. They're not natural. Minji joined them, her security training making her cautious. What do you mean, not natural? Look at the regularity. Hei-yun pointed to the screen. These energy waves are too precise. They repeat in exact patterns. Nature doesn't work that way. The three crew members looked at each other. They all knew what this might mean. Signs of artificial technology, far from any human presence. Should we wake the commander? Minji asked. Hei-yun nodded. Yes, this is too important to wait. 20 minutes later, Commander Jaho Park stood in the control room, studying the readings. His face was serious as he listened to Hei-yun's explanation. The energy patterns suggest some kind of technology, Hei-yun said, but they're unlike anything humans have ever built, and they're coming from a point ahead of us, slightly off our planned course. Jaiho looked at the star map. The source of the energy was about 2 weeks away at their current speed, but investigating it would delay their arrival at Alpha Centauri. What do you think it is? He asked. It could be many things, Hei-yun replied. A probe from another civilization, an abandoned ship, or maybe some kind of signal beacon. Whatever it is, it's not natural, and it's not human. Jaiho walked to the window, looking out at the stars. This could be humanity's first evidence of alien technology, but investigating it would use precious fuel and time. Wake the rest of the crew, he decided. They should all have a say in this decision. An hour later, the entire crew gathered in the conference room. Some still showed signs of grogginess from the cryogenic sleep, but all were alert as Hei-yun explained her findings. We came to explore, Ta-won said after hearing the explanation. This might be the greatest discovery in human history. Sunmi nodded in agreement. We have to investigate. Think of what we might learn. Jaiho looked at each crew member's face. They had trained for years to reach Alpha Centauri, but they had also trained to be explorers, to investigate the unknown. We'll change course, he announced, but we'll be careful. Minji, I want security protocols ready. Hei-yun, keep monitoring those energy patterns. Everyone else, prepare for anything. As the crew moved to their stations, excitement mixed with nervousness in the air. They had hoped to find signs of other civilizations, but none had expected it to happen here, in the vast emptiness between stars. The Pathfinder's engines fired briefly, adjusting their course. Whatever waited ahead of them, they would face it together. They were no longer just traveling to Alpha Centauri. They were about to make a discovery that could change humanity's understanding of the universe forever. The Pathfinder slowed as it approached the source of the energy readings. Through the main window, the crew could see something shining in the distance. As they got closer, the object became clearer. It was a spacecraft, but unlike anything humans had ever built. Look at the design, Hei-yun said softly. The alien ship was smooth and curved, like a water drop stretched out among the stars. Its surface seemed to shimmer with a faint blue glow. Commander Jaho Park kept his voice steady despite his racing heart. Sunmi, any signals from them? Before Sunmi could answer, a soft chime came from her console. Yes, Commander. They're transmitting something. The crew gathered around Sunmi's station as she worked to understand the signal. It's not radio waves like we use. It's something else. But there's a pattern to it. Hei-yun studied the signal pattern. It looks like mathematics. Basic number sequences, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. They're sending us prime numbers. Send the next 5 prime numbers back to them, Jaiho ordered. Let's show them we understand. Sunmi transmitted the response. 13, 17, 19, 23, 29. The alien ship's glow changed slightly, becoming brighter. They're sending something new, Sunmi announced. A series of images appeared on her screen. Simple pictures showing circles, squares, and triangles, followed by more complex geometric shapes. They're trying to build a common language, Hei-yun explained, starting with basic concepts we both understand. For the next 6 hours, the two ships exchanged messages, moving from mathematics to simple pictures, then to diagrams of atoms and chemical elements. The aliens seemed as careful and methodical as the humans, taking one small step at a time. Finally, a new kind of image appeared on their screen. It showed a group of beings standing together. They were tall and slender, with smooth silver-blue skin that reminded Jeho of their ship's surface. The image was clearly meant as a self-portrait. The aliens were showing themselves to humanity. Send them an image of our crew, Jeho decided. The crew gathered quickly, and Do-hyun took a group photo which Sun Mi transmitted to the alien vessel. Minutes later, they received a new message. This time, it included a diagram of both ships side by side, with mathematical symbols suggesting a meeting. "They want to dock with us," Tae-won said, studying the diagram. "They've even calculated the perfect position for it." Jeho looked at his crew. This was more than they had ever dreamed of finding. But it was also dangerous. They would be the first humans to meet beings from another world. "Security check," he ordered. Min-jae ran detailed scans of the alien vessel, looking for any signs of weapons or threats. She found none. "Their ship is about the same size as ours," Min-jae reported. "And I detect life signs. 12 of them, just like us. They seem to be keeping their distance and waiting for our response." Jeho made his decision. "Send them confirmation. We'll meet them halfway." He turned to his crew. "Remember your training. We're not just explorers anymore. We're humanity's first ambassadors to another civilization." As the two ships slowly maneuvered into position, Jeho thought about how this moment would change everything. Humans were not alone in the universe, and now, in the vast darkness between the stars, two species were about to meet for the first time. After 3 days of careful meetings between the two crews, Hae-yun noticed something alarming on her instruments. A massive solar flare was building up in Alpha Centauri A, the larger of the twin stars they were approaching. It would be much stronger than anything ever seen from Earth's sun. "Commander," she called to Jeho, her voice tense. "The readings are clear. When this flare releases, the radiation will be strong enough to damage both ships, even at this distance." The alien crew, whom they now could communicate with through a combination of mathematics and simple pictures, understood the danger too. Their own instruments had detected the same threat. Do-hyun studied both ship shielding systems during one of their technical exchanges. "Our shield technology is different from theirs," he explained to Jeho. "We focused on deflecting radiation, while they developed ways to absorb and convert it. But neither system alone is strong enough to protect against this flare." Jeho looked through the connecting tunnel between the ships, where the alien commander waited. Even without words, he could see the same concern in their large, silvery eyes. Both crews had too much to lose. "What if we combine our shields?" Do-hyun suggested, drawing a quick diagram to show both crews. "Their absorption technology working together with our deflection system might be strong enough." The alien engineers studied the diagram. Their chief engineer, whom the humans had named Blue for the deeper color of their skin, made excited gestures. They quickly added to Do-hyun's drawings, showing how the two systems could work together. "It's possible," Hae-yun said, reviewing the calculations. "But we would need to position the ships very close together and synchronize our power systems perfectly. One mistake could overload both ships' engines." Time was running out. The solar flare was growing stronger. Soon it would release its energy toward them, and they would have only minutes to protect themselves. Jeho gathered his crew. "This is dangerous," he told them. "If we make a mistake, we could lose everything. But if we do nothing, we will definitely lose everything. I need everyone's thoughts." The crew looked at each other. They had come farther than any humans before them. They had met beings from another world. Now they faced their greatest test. "We trust Do-hyun's engineering," Tae-won said. "And we've seen how careful and skilled the alien engineers are. We should try." The others nodded in agreement. Jeho turned to the alien commander and made a gesture they had established to mean agreement. The alien leader responded with the same gesture. For the next hour, both crews worked together, connecting power systems and aligning shields. Do-hyun and Blue worked side by side, checking and double-checking every connection. The alien technology was very different, but the basic principles of physics were the same. Flare release in 5 minutes, Hae-yun announced. The crews took their positions. The ships moved close together, their shields beginning to glow as power flowed between them. 3 minutes. Do-hyun and Blue made final adjustments to the power flow. 1 minute. Jeho watched the massive star through the ship's filtered windows. They would soon see if their cooperation would save them both. 30 seconds. The combined crews, human and alien, waited together. They had done everything they could. Now they would face the fury of a star as one. The combined shield system had worked. Both ships survived the massive solar flare, though their power systems needed time to recover. During this recovery period, the two crews had a chance to learn more about each other. Security Chief Min Ji-yoon spent time with her alien counterpart, whom the crew called Silver due to their shimmering skin tone. Through careful observation, Min Ji noticed something interesting about their new allies. They work together like we do, she told Commander Jeho during their daily meeting. They have different jobs, different skills, but they respect each other, just like us. The aliens had created a shared space between the two ships where both crews could meet. They'd brought samples of their food, their art, and their technology. The humans did the same. Hae-yun discovered that the aliens had a deep love of music, though their songs used different scales than human music. When Sun Mi played a recording of classical Korean music, the aliens swayed in a way that showed they felt the rhythm, even if the melody was foreign to them. "Look at this," Do-hyun said one day, showing Jeho a technical drawing the aliens had shared. Their first space missions were like ours. Small steps at first. Satellites, then missions to nearby planets. They'd made mistakes, learned from them, and kept going, just like humanity did. The aliens seemed just as curious about humans. They studied the pictures of Earth that the crew shared, pointing with interest at the oceans. Their own world, they explained through diagrams, had smaller seas scattered across the land. During one meeting, Blue showed Hae-yun their star maps. The aliens had explored much of their own solar system, but had never ventured to another star before. Like humans, they were on their first journey into deep space. "We're both taking our first steps into the galaxy," Hae-yun told Jeho later. "They chose to explore in the same direction we did, and that's why we met." The crews began to share their daily routines. The aliens exercised in ways similar to humans, knowing that space travel could weaken their bodies. They too had brought games to pass the time during their long journey. Min Ji and Silver worked together to create a simple game that both species could play, using colored lights and patterns. Soon, members of both crews were competing together, their laughter and the aliens' musical chirps of amusement filling the shared space. They value family too, Sun Mi reported after studying the aliens' personal images. They carry pictures of their loved ones, just like we do. They miss their home, just like we miss Earth. Jeho watched as the two crews grew more comfortable with each other. The aliens' silver-blue skin and tall frames no longer seemed strange. Their different way of moving, their musical language, their shimmering expressions, it all became familiar. "We're more alike than different," he wrote in his official log. "We all want to explore, to learn, to grow. We all take care of our crew members. We all dream of what we might find among the stars." The aliens shared their own records of the solar flare incident. They had been just as uncertain about working together as the humans had been. But like humans, they had chosen to trust, to take a chance on cooperation. As the power systems gradually recovered, both crews knew their time together would soon end. They had different destinations, different missions to complete, but they had learned something valuable. They were not alone in their desire to explore the universe, and perhaps that was the greatest discovery of all. The time had come for the two ships to part ways. Before their final farewell, the alien commander requested one more meeting with Jai-Ho and his senior crew. Their expressions seemed more serious than usual as they gathered in the shared space between the ships. Through their improved communication system, the aliens shared a troubling discovery. They showed a series of images and data readings about automated mining drones they had detected in this region of space. These machines were self-replicating, using materials from asteroids and small planets to make copies of themselves. These drones are moving through space, Hei-yun explained as she studied the data. They'd break down everything they find into raw materials. According to these readings, their numbers are growing fast. The aliens' data showed that the drones had already stripped several solar systems of their smaller planets and asteroids. The machines showed no signs of intelligence or purpose beyond replication and resource gathering. They were like a mechanical virus spreading through space. How long until they reach Earth's solar system? Jai-Ho asked. Hei-yun made some calculations. At their current speed, maybe 50 years. But that's if they continue on their present course. The alien commander shared more information. Their scientists believed the drones were abandoned technology, left behind by some ancient civilization. Now they operated on their own, following their original programming without any control. Commander Jai-Ho faced a difficult decision. This information would cause great concern on Earth. Some people might panic. Others might not believe the warning at all. But keeping it secret could leave humanity unprepared for a serious threat. We need to discuss this as a crew, Jai-Ho announced. He gathered everyone in the Pathfinder's conference room after their final farewell to the aliens. The drones are a real threat, Minji said. But telling people might create panic. Some might say we should stop all space exploration. That would be the worst thing we could do, Taiwan argued. We need to expand into space more than ever. Build colonies on other planets. Spread out so humanity can't be wiped out by one threat. Sun Mei had been quiet, but now she spoke up. The people of Earth trusted us to explore space for them. They deserve to know what we found, both the good and the bad. Jai-Ho listened to everyone's views. The crew had grown even closer after their time with the aliens. They had seen wonderful things and faced dangerous challenges together. Now they had one more challenge, helping Earth prepare for a future threat. We'll tell them everything, Jai-Ho decided. The amazing things we've learned from our alien friends, the proof that we're not alone in the universe, and yes, the warning about the drones. Earth needs to know all of it. The crew began preparing their report as the Pathfinder started its long journey home. They had changed during their mission. They were no longer just explorers. They were now messengers carrying important news for all of humanity. We'll help Earth get ready, Hei-yun said as they watched the alien ship disappear into the distance. We have 50 years to prepare. And we're not alone anymore. We have friends among the stars now. The Pathfinder's engines hummed steadily as they set course for Earth. They carried new technology, new knowledge, and a warning that would change humanity's future. The journey home would be long, but they had an important job to do. They had to help humanity get ready for its next great challenge. After 3.5 years of return travel, Earth finally appeared as a bright blue dot in the Pathfinder's windows. The sight brought tears to many of the crew's eyes. They were home, carrying knowledge that would change everything. Commander Jai-Ho Park stood before the United Earth Council in their main chamber in Geneva. The room was completely silent as he shared their discoveries. When he showed the first images of the alien ship and its crew, people gasped. When he explained how the two crews had worked together to survive the solar flare, they listened in amazement. We are not alone, Jai-Ho told them. And we are not behind. The friends we met were also on their first journey between stars. They faced the same challenges we do. They dreamed the same dreams we do. Hei-yun and Taiwan presented the technical information they had learned from the aliens. Their different approaches to radiation shielding, their engine designs, their ways of recycling air and water. All of it could help improve human spacecraft. Then Jeho shared the warning about the automated mining drones. He showed the data they had received, explaining the threat these machines posed. But he also shared their solution. "We have 50 years," he said. 50 years to expand into space, to build colonies on Mars, on Europa, in the asteroid belt. 50 years to learn from our alien friends and develop better technology. 50 years to make humanity stronger. The council members asked many questions. Some were worried. Others were excited. But all of them understood that the world had changed. Humans were now part of a larger community among the stars. 1 month later, Jeho watched as workers began building the first of many new ships. These vessels would be bigger than the Pathfinder, designed for both exploration and colonization. They would use a combination of human and alien technology, making them safer and faster. "The alien ship is returning to this region of space in 5 years, Heian told him, showing him the planned meeting point they had agreed upon. "They want to work with us to stop the drone threat." Their leaders approved a joint mission. Sun Lei had been busy teaching other communications officers the basics of the alien language they had developed. "We're learning so much about each other," she said, "and this is just the beginning." Do-hyun was leading a team of engineers, combining human and alien designs to create better ships. "Every day we find new ways to improve our technology," he reported. "Working together makes both our species stronger." Minji had started training security teams for the new joint mission. "We're teaching them what we learned," she explained. "How to build trust, how to work together despite differences." One evening, Jeho stood at the window of the space station where their journey had begun. Below him, Earth glowed blue in the darkness, but now he saw it differently. It wasn't just humanity's home. It was part of something bigger, a community of worlds reaching out to explore the stars together. "Commander," a young officer approached him. "The new ship is ready for its first test flight. Would you like to watch?" Jeho smiled as he followed her to the observation deck. The new vessel was larger than the Pathfinder, its hull showing the smooth curves inspired by alien design combined with human engineering. Its name was painted proudly on the side, Unity. As the ship's engines fired up for the first time, Jeho thought about everything that had changed. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe. They had found friends among the stars. And together, they would face whatever challenges the future held.